Hi, I'm Simon Rushton and this is Chronicles Podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Afternoon. Yes, we're back again with another interview in this episode. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but we've got Brian here. He's a tailor. He looks like a very quality tailor, to be honest. The amount of suits suit bags, or I'm not sure if that's what you call them.
Suit carriers.
Suit carriers in the back is surprising. But anyway, Brian, nice to have you here today.
Thank you very much. My name's not Brian, it's actually Dan.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
That's all right, no problem.
Okay. So Dan, how long you been a tailor for?
I've been a tailor now for just under 17 years.
Okay.
So I started when I was 16. I'd done an 8.5 year tailoring apprenticeship on Savile Row, and then I set up my own business just under 8 years ago. It'll be 8 years next month. And I make a lot of suits, shirts, casual jackets, trousers. I do a lot of alterations for men and women. I make ladies suits, ladies trousers, skirts and blouses. I've got a workshop in E1 and I've got an office in EC2.
Okay.
So I do a lot of work with people in the city that work in banking, finance, insurance. A lot of clients in the law profession, so they're either solicitors or barristers. And I also have a side of my business that is based out in the UAE. So I go out to Dubai and Abu Dhabi every 6 to 8 weeks at the moment.
Okay.
And I see my clients out there and I measure them up. I come back, I'll get their fittings ready in my workshop in London. Next time I go, I'll take it out there and do a fitting. And then depending on what the client prefers, I'll ship their garments over to them once they're fully finished, or I'll go and deliver them and we'll do a final fitting together on my next trip. So it's whatever they prefer, really.
So what made you want to become a tailor?
Do you know what, Simon? Like all good things, I kind of fell into it. So when I was at school, I wasn't very academic, but I was always quite creative. So I was very, very good at the arts and technology and making things, and you know, I could picture things already made up in my head before they were made. So I was quite creative anyway. As I say, wasn't very academic, and I was always very, very good with my hands. And when I was 17, I was working for a menswear brand in the West End called Alexander's of London, and they made all of the uniforms for the royal household. And they just said to me, look, you know, we're looking for an apprentice to come on board, would you like to do it? So I thought, I'll give it a try, and the rest is history, as they say. So very, very classically trained on Savile Row. As I say, I spent 8.5 years on Savile Row, which is obviously the world's #1 tailoring street in the whole world. You go anywhere and mention Savile Row globally, and 9 times out of 10 people know what Savile Row is, what Savile Row does, the whole ethos behind the row. So yeah, I kind of fell into it, and touch wood, it was the best business decision I made, really, to be fair.
That's good. You sound like you're a very busy and well experienced man. Can you give us any names? Who's kind of big people you've made suits for?
So I've made suits for Gary Lineker in the past. Also made some suits for Gordon Ramsay when I was on Savile Row. I do a lot of work with professional sports people. So I've got a couple of footballers that I currently make for now. I do a lot of work for people in the media, so a couple of BBC news readers. So it's kind of that kind of market, so television. I do a lot of work in the wedding market as well, so I do a lot of stuff for weddings and events, black tie. I do a lot of stuff for Ascot every year, usually, sort of morning suits and things. So I don't just stick to suits and shirts, so I can cover the whole aspect of tailoring what everyone needs, really, to be honest with you.
How long does it take to make a suit on average?
On average, 80 hours plus of labour from start to finish.
80 hours?
80 hours
That's like
plus
2
of
weeks,
labour.
really, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so what I always quote between sort of 4 and 6 weeks from start to finish, because I've always got a certain amount of garments going through my workshop at any one time.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have made a suit in 2 days before.
Really?
For someone, yeah.
Was
So,
that you working alone, or?
No, that's me and my team. So there's 6 of us in the workshop. So we've turned around a 2-piece suit in 2 days before.
And is that like
that was cut, fitted, finished, delivered within 48 hours for a very, very special event. One of our VIP clients found out that he was going to an awards dinner and he needed a suit. And as I say, we only got 48 hours notice, so it had to be done. So, you know, things like that, we can turn around garments very, very quickly. And we are able to do that. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of cost involved for that kind of time frame.
You've dedicated your whole entire staff to
doing that one
job.
Garment. Yeah, exactly. And you know, there's been a couple of occasions where we've had to work through the night to get things finished.
So your staff are always on some kind of bonus, getting some kind of bonus or something.
Well, if they put the work in, then they will do, yeah.
Said like a true boss. If you put the work in, yes, you're getting rewarded. Okay. Sorry, there's a question that just came into my mind and it slipped. But if you were to, would you want your son to join into the?
Do you know what? My son's 5.5, and he knows exactly what I do for a living, and he tells all of his teachers at school, oh, my daddy makes clothes, and he goes and visits his clients abroad, and he has said to me before, when I'm older, Daddy, I'd like to come to work with you. So you know, to be fair, I wouldn't mind him going into tailoring, but as long as he's doing something that makes him happy and fulfills him, and you know, I really don't mind if he does bespoke tailoring or if he does something completely different. It really, really doesn't bother me. As long as he's happy and he's successful in whatever he does, then that's more than happy. That you know, I would be more than happy with that, really, to be fair. What's
a vital thing that you've learnt that if you would, let's say like your son said he wants to go into it, you would definitely tell him he needs to understand that point?
Be organised and be adaptable. So, you know, sometimes you need to be very, very organised in terms of what you've got on in terms of client garments that at that any one time or that any one day or week, and also just be adaptable. So if someone, you know, if you need to put yourself out there and go and see someone, you know, at a drop of a hat at their house, which is a 2-hour drive away, you know, it's about the service as well as the garment. So my kind of company ethos, if you like, is our passion for service and style is a cut above the rest, which is what we like to work to. So, you know, and in kind of this kind of climate and this kind of market at the moment, people really, really do appreciate you going the extra mile and putting yourself out there for them. And in return, they generally will recommend you to their friends, their family.
Yeah, you get loyalty.
You get a lot of loyalty. They'll recommend you to their colleagues, and you know, I've even had phone calls and emails from people that I've made suits for 5-6 years ago for a wedding, for example, and they'll recommend me to their family member who's getting married, and you know, it'll just build and build and build, and you know, to me, there's no better advertisement than there is word of mouth.
That's true. Because there's longevity in that.
Exactly, there's longevity, there's loyalty, and you know, I think people just appreciate really good service, and you know, people appreciate you being somewhere where you say you're going to be somewhere, and they just appreciate, you know, someone that is putting themselves out there for them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Definitely, that's what I'm a big fan of that. What's your company name?
Ross Carrington Bespoke. So the reason it's called that is, so my middle name's Ross, and I found out 8 years ago, just before I started my company, that my nan, she passed away just over 3 years ago. So her maiden name was Carrington, And I found out that my great-great-great-grandfather was a tailor during World War One.
Okay.
And he had a little workshop just down off the Whitechapel High Road, and it was called Carrington and Sons. So that's why I called my company Ross Carrington Bespoke. Carrying on the family tradition, but rather than just having my name, I wanted to have my middle name plus the Carrington tailoring behind it.
So there's something really, and then your son's talking about what he wants to do. So it's going to be next. You're going to be the next Hugo Boss.
You never know. Well, that's the dream.
Yeah, you'll be the British Hugo Boss, because Hugo Boss was from the World War. They designed a German uniform, Nazi uniform, which regardless of being Nazis, the uniform looks really good. Along with those leather trench coats and everything. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, how's your business been over this whole time? Because you're dealing with rich clients. Is it still holding, or is it just like you're having to paddle?
Sorry,
your business. How's the business going now? Because your clients are wealthy clients, or
some of them are very, very wealthy, top of their game.
Has the whole COVID lockdown thing
It's
affected?
been very, very difficult, obviously, because a lot of my business involves me going to see my clients at their offices and houses, and a place of their convenience. Really, I'd say only 5% of my clients come to me, and that's where I try and be a little bit more unique, and I'll go to them. So the whole COVID lockdown situation has been very, very tough. Obviously, I've not been working flat out. From March till sort of June. I went back sort of end of June, beginning of July properly, and it's still very, very quiet. A lot of people are still working from home, and to be honest, some people are very happy for me to go and see them at home. Some people are a little bit more kind of, they'd rather wait till those back in the office, and some people are quite nervous about me going to see them if they're a shielded person, or they've got family members that can't come into contact to people that are shielding. So it is very, very difficult, and it's very, very quiet and very tough out there at the moment. But I like to think that I've got a good client base. I'm an established business, and I just like to think that things over time will come back, and we just need to all adapt to this kind of new form of normality, really.
The fact that many companies are pushing for people to work from home would mean less suits. Have you taken that into future?
Yes, exactly. So a lot of people now they don't wear suits as much as they used to. So that's why I do sort of casual jackets, casual trousers. I'm doing a lot of kind of casual shirts and polo shirts as well at the moment.
Okay.
Also done a lot of like tailored shorts during lockdown. For the summer, and that kind of thing. So there's always ways that you can adapt your business, and there's always things that you can offer that other people don't, just to make you a little bit more unique. And I think clients understand that, really.
Material wise, what's the most common and the best material for making a suit? I don't know anything about
it. Depends what it's for. So if one of my clients said, look, they want something that they can wear every day to the office or to business meetings, then I'd recommend like a very good mid-weight, hard-wearing English fabric, something that's going to stand the test of time, something that's going to be very durable, very crease-resistant, good longevity to the cloth. Whereas a lot of my clients, especially overseas that work out in the UAE, they want something very, very lightweight but very durable. So that's when I'd advise an Italian cloth like Loro Piana or Zegna. So the Italian mills, the high-end Italian mills, specialise in very, very lightweight, very soft, but very, very structured, very crease-resistant fabrics. So obviously they cost a little bit more to produce, so they are a little bit more expensive in terms of the cost of a suit. But I get asked that a lot, Simon, to be honest. So it just depends on the whole purpose of the garment and where it's being worn. Who's wearing it and how often they are wearing it, that kind of thing.
What's a good suit start at in price?
So a good suit starts at about, for a bespoke suit, starts at about £1,200, and that's generally with 2 pairs of trousers.
Oh, okay.
So you can rotate the trousers every time that you wear the garment, and it doubles the life of the suit. But I always say to people, you know, if you're paying 12, 14, 1500 pound for a bespoke garment, and you get 10 years wear out of that with 2 pairs of trousers, if you break that cost down over the time that you're actually wearing the garment, and you know, over the time that you're wearing it, how many wears you get out of it for that money, even though the initial outlay is high, the actual cost per wear is a lot less than you going buying a suit from Marks and Spencer's or House of Fraser, for example, paying £400 or £500 off the peg, and you're getting a year's wear out of it. So it's a lot more cost-effective way, because it's not just the quality of the cloth; it's the actual construction, and the actual durability, and the way that we tailor our garments that gives it the lifespan.
This is a bit of a personal question for me.
Of course.
I go to Africa a lot, which is and I go to the places like in Mombasa, where it's very humid.
Okay.
Suit-wise, they wear a lot of Western suits, and I just think it's way too hot. I was looking at a linen suit. Would you say that's ideal?
Linen is nice. Linen obviously is very, very lightweight. A lot of people think when they want a summer suit, they automatically think linen. However, linen it's not very durable. It creases very, very easily. Linen tends to be not very hard wearing. So if you wanted something that you could wear in Africa, then again, I'd go for a very, very lightweight Italian wool cashmere, or a Punu wool, or even wool and silk would be good. Because
silk.
Yeah, because it's going to be very, very lightweight, but you still get a little bit more crease resistancy than you would with linen, and it'd hold its shape a lot nicer, and it'd look pristine, and it'd look more forgiving for longer, shall we say.
I understand there's different types of linen. That wouldn't make any difference.
Sorry?
I understand there's different types of linen.
Yeah, there is different types of linen. So traditionally, like an Irish linen is very, very good, very durable, but they're quite heavy. So Irish linen, if you want a lightweight garment, then Irish linen is very, very heavy. It's almost like a Hessian kind of material, and they're quite rigid, and you know, they're not very comfortable to wear, in my opinion. And I'm not keen on that kind of look, to be fair.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for that.
No problem, Simon.
Really appreciate it. The last question now is, what impact do you want to have on the world?
What impact would I like to have on the world? That's a very, very good question. I would like to be known as someone that produces fantastic garments, but also has that relationship and gives everyone who I make for, whether it's a one-off suit or if someone's buying 3 or 4 suits from me a year, the same service. So I want to be known for amazing bespoke garments, but also building relationships through fantastic customer service.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for that. And do you want to pump your company one last time?
Thanks, Simon. I really appreciate it. So that's Dan Chumley, Ross Carrington Bespoke. Our passion for service and style is a cut above the rest. You can find us online, rosscarringtonbespoke.com, or give me a call, 07824 153 880. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye. We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth, and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor, and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.